Dave knows how.
About 8 months ago, our water heater failed and sprung a leak. And our water heater is located in the basement, which is a completely finished basement. Carpet, the whole 9 yards. And when it leaked, it flooded part of the basement, and that was a big issue to clean up. So, now, when we bought this house, I don't know how long that water heater had been in there. I'm assuming it's probably the original water heater that they put in this house. So, in this video, I'm gonna show you how to flush your water tank, or at least how I flush my water tank. So right now what we got is we've got a garden hose, and it's ran up to the house through the basement door and in there to the water heater, and it's sitting there by the water heater. And I've got a old tube sock, and we're gonna put this over the end of the hose so that we can kind of inspect what we get out of here. We got a rubber band. We're gonna put this rubber band around here a couple of times just to kind of hold this sock on there. We're just gonna leave it like that now. A pair of women's knee highs actually works a little bit better because it's a little finer to run through, but I don't have any knee highs. I stopped wearing them a few years ago, and I'm not wearing knee highs anymore, so I just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyhow, we're gonna use tube socks since I don't have knee highs. We're gonna use tube sock. If I felt like going to the store, I'd run up there and buy a set of knee highs just for this, because it does do a better job. But we're gonna see what we get in this tube sock. We'll lay it down here on the ground. We're gonna go inside and we're gonna hook up the other end. So let's go in there and hook up the other end. Okay, so we're in here at the water heater, and we've got the hose hooked up onto the drain of the water heater. And on most of them, there's a knob on here. You just turn it with your hand. But this one looks like it actually takes a screwdriver, and you rotate it. Now, I don't know if you can hear that, but the water is running out. We do have a slight leak. So we're gonna turn this hose and see if we can get it stopped leaking. Okay, and we're letting the water drain. Let's run out here and see what it looks like at the sock. Okay, so we're out here at the sock, and you can see the water's running right down through and out of the sock. We're just gonna let that run a little bit. Drain that water tank. And basically what we're doing is we're draining everything off the bottom of the water tank that is settled down in the bottom of the tank. Get as much of the gunk and crud and stuff out of the bottom of the tank. So I'm gonna leave this draining for just a second. I'm gonna run back inside and shut the valve off, get everything tightened back up, make sure we don't have any leaks. Then we'll come back out here and inspect this and see what we caught inside of there. Okay, so we've shut the water off now, and basically this is just what's running out of the hose. I'll pull this rubber band back. Okay, now this was a pretty clean sock. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it inside out. Ooh, I can really feel the grit and grime in here. Oh my goodness. All right, so I don't know if you can see that, but you see all that? That is just nastiness. We got calcium deposits, all kinds of nastiness that ran out of the inside of that water tank. And it almost feels like sand, but basically these are minerals that are in the water. So that's right much. So really, for this water here, like I said, it's brand new. It's only been in there for maybe 6 or 8 months max. And to get that much, I'm not even sure if it showed up on the camera or not, but to get that much sediment out of the bottom of that tank already, that's a lot of sediment. You can see this, there's just nasty stuff in here. You know, this sock was really clean inside and out. It's a lot of yucky stuff that came out of that tank. Ugh, that is nasty. So how often should you do this? I think once a year. Now, you're probably thinking, well, Dave, you know, you're saying do it once a year. Don't you do it once a year? What happened to your other tank? And that's a good question. When we first came here, I did this. I drained the tank, flushed the tank, not drained the tank. So what we're doing is we're hooking up the water hose. We're leaving the water pressure on. We're opening up the drain valve on the tank, and we're allowing the pressure from the street or from the well, whichever case may be, to apply water pressure to the tank and flush the bottom of the tank out into the hose through the sock so that we can see what we got. When we first moved in, I flushed the tank. A lot of stuff came out of it. The next year when I went to flush the tank, I opened the valve and nothing would come out. The water wouldn't even come out. No water would, so the valve was clogged up. Well, that meant that I couldn't flush the tank anymore. So when the water heater went bad, at that point, I had to get the water out of the tank and the water tank out of the house and put the new water tank in, which I've done, and this is the new water tank. That's how much came out of it. That's a lot for, you know, 6, 8 months. I mean, the water heater hadn't been in there no time. Anyway, that's the gist of this video. Drain your water tank, flush your water tank. Flush your water tank. That's a better word to use. Flush your water tank, not drain. Because if you just drain it, it's not gonna get most of that sediment out. And I didn't really let it run that long. I probably should have let it run a little bit longer. Be careful, because hot water is coming out of this thing. I mean, there's no cold water coming out of it. It is hot water. So as hot as you got that water heater set, that's how hot it's gonna come out. Don't burn yourself. Be careful. Go easy when you loosen that drain up, because things can go bad. I've had that happen before. Meanwhile, The tank that came out of there, I set out here in the yard. I hadn't taken it to the dump yet. Today, we're gonna cut that tank open and we're gonna take a look inside. So let's go over here and cut this tank open and take a look inside. Okay, hopefully this is showing up in the video. Here's the tank. We've taken the outside shell off. We've cut the insulation off of it. We've cut the top of the tank off. And this is the sediment that was inside. Now, the reason the sediment is stuck to the top of the tank is because when I set it outside, I set it out here upside down to drain the water out. Remember, the water was still in it. So I turned the tank upside down to let the water drain out of it. So all the sediment went to the top, and this is what's in there. Now this is some nasty, nasty stuff. Look at what's inside the tank. Look at the nasty stuff that's in this tank. I mean, that is a lot of nasty, nasty mess. This is all sediment. And Lord knows with the bacteria, they can run rampant through this thing, how sick something like this could actually make you. That is a lot of sediment to come out of the bottom of this tank. That's some nasty stuff right there. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you got something out of it. I know it's a little bit off topic from what we normally cover on this channel, but I really think that this is something that a lot of people need to be made aware of. I've seen people turn a hot water faucet on at their house and make coffee right with the hot water right out of the spigot. And this is what you're getting out of there. This is what you're drinking. This is what you're putting into your body. You know, when you take a shower, this is what is coming out of that shower head that you could be getting in your eyes, getting in your mouth. You know, if there's any bacteria in there whatsoever, it's gonna cause you problems, or could cause you problems. So flush out your water tank once a year, at least. It doesn't take long, about 5 minutes. Run a garden hose in there, hook it up, open it up, let some water out. Put you a pair of knee highs or some, you know, a tube sock or something on there to catch what comes out, and inspect it and look at what's coming out of your water heater, and that'll give you a good indication as to the health of the inside of your water heater. If you get a lot of rust coming out of there, then you pretty much know that the inside of your water heater is rusted pretty good, and it's just a matter of time before it starts leaking, and you could end up with a major, major mess. That might want to be the time that you may want to consider changing that water heater out and putting in a new one. Pretty easy to put in a new water heater. I wish I would have done a video when I put the replacement water heater in for this one. Literally, including going to pick the new water heater up and getting the old water heater out, less than 2 hours. That included taking this one out and going and buying a new one at the store and coming back, and within 2 hours, less than 2 hours, I had the new one in, full of water, and it was heating. So it's not that bad of a job, but this little bit of preventive maintenance could prevent you from having to change your water heater out in an emergency at 9 o'clock at night, because that's what I had to do. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you found it interesting, and I will catch you in the next video.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.